everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and here on my YouTube channel. And this time out, we're going to take a look at a new plugin from Universal Audio. We're going to take a look at the Capitol Records Mastering Valve Compressor. We're going to listen to it on, I don't know, some drums and maybe a couple of mixes just to see what it kind of sounds like. And we're going to take a look and a listen, and I'll let you know whether it's something that you may want to go check out for yourself. But before we get started, if you like what you see in the video, subscribe, notification bell. It helps Uncle Dave tremendously, and I really appreciate it in advance. Also, if this is your first time here, go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. I want to give you a free $100 mixing course. It's my gift to you just for visiting homerecordingmadeeasy.com. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you something else absolutely free. Here we go. So here we are. Universal Audio. I'm a big Universal Audio fan, have been for many, many years. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, I think I own, if not all their plugins, 95% of them. I use them semi-regularly. I like them. There's a lot of great plugin companies, but Universal Audio is really, really great. And this is something new by them, and they haven't put out some new plugins in a while. This is the Capitol Records Mastering Valve Compressor. So we're going to walk through the controls. We're going to listen to it. We're also going to break out. I've only played with this for a few minutes, so we're going to kind of do this live and you're going to get kind of my first reaction of what I really think of it. But if we pull up our good old trusty user manual, pardon me, this is the Capitol Mastering Compressor. This is based on the rich sound of the CM5511, a legendary hand-built tube mastering compressor designed and used by Capitol Studios in historic catalogs and thousands of hit records. Exclusively modeled by UA, now you can get the same professional finishing touch previously on only available at Capitol Records. So here it is. So you can go down and you can take a look and listen to all the samples on the website. I'll leave the link in the description box below. No, this is not a sponsored video. I haven't even bought this yet. I'm going ahead and I'm just demoing it for 14 days. Now, as I sit here and record this video on May 16th, 2023, today you can buy this for $174. It's normally $349. Now, I'll tell you right out of the gate, I've been critical about Universal Audio in the past. Their plugins, comparatively speaking to everybody else that's on the market, all the different plugin companies, they're very, very high priced, their plugins. Back in the day when Universal Audio was the first and really the only ones that were doing analog classic gear plugin emulations, they could get away with charging that kind of dough because they were the only ones that were doing it or doing a good job of it. Now everybody's doing it. And so, you know, and a lot of great plugin companies out there. So I think $349 is high for any plugin today. But for $175, if you don't have a valve compressor in your arsenal, you may want to take a look at this. So you can go ahead and you can take a look at this. Also, I'll say before we listen and we walk through the controls, this is also a native plugin. You don't need to have Universal Audio hardware to get this one. So you can buy this natively, which is really, really great. And then if you want to walk through all the controls, they also have a user manual, which we may tap into at one point. You can look at all the different controls. However, here we are. So let's take a look. Let's walk through this thing quickly. So, well, first thing we can do, which I really like, if you come over here and click this little 3-dot button, you can resize the plugin, which is awesome. So we're going to resize this so we could see it because Uncle Dave's eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Not to mention the controls are really small and hard to see. Anyway, if we start from left to right here, we have and this is a stereo compressor, right? So the top and the bottom sections are going to be identical. We have our input section here. These are stepped inputs 1 through 5. We have a side chain filter here. Now our side chain filter has 3 different little positions here. If you read the manual, you'll realize that if you go all the way to the right, it's off. If you go towards the middle, I believe it's 360 Hertz. And if you go to the far left, it's 700 Hertz is what the frequencies are. So I'm going to start with it off all the way over here. Now, when you open it up in default mode, it defaults, I believe, to the middle, which is 360 or 365. We have our threshold control here again, all stepped. We have on our attack slow, medium, fast attack times. We have our release here again, slow, medium, slow, medium, fast. And then we have our ratio up here. Now our ratio is a 5-position switch here, and you could start, I believe it says in the manual, what is it, 2 to 1? Let me get out the manual here. Let's get out the manual and see what it is. They told me what it was, what the ratio was here. Okay, so we're going from 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 6 to 1, 10 to 1. So from left to right, 2 to 1, 3, 4, 6, 10, if that's what I said. Okay, here we go. Then we have our output to level match the plugin. We could turn the channel in and out here. We can channel link them together, so you can have them separate if you want to run them dual mono, or you can run them in stereo, which is what we're going to do. Over to the right, we have our beautiful meters. I mean, it's a great looking plugin, that's for sure, right? Underneath that, we have in the center here, we can see how we want the meter to display, attenuation or gain reduction, your input or your inputs here, okay? We have our mid, we can run it in left, right, stereo, or mid side if we want. And then we can run it side chain link here, or we can run it in dual mono. We have a power switch up here, which works kind of. And that power switch also could be toggled down here with the Universal Audio logo. Now down here in this bottom section is, there's some, according to the manual, there's some extra features in this plugin. It isn't part of the hardware. I believe the ratio is one of those. The other thing down here is we have a saturation section, if you will. We have our mix here for parallel compression. If we want to do that, that's not on the original. We have a headroom. We can fold things to mono at 100 Hertz, 200 Hertz. Again, we have a gain here to level match. We have a shape, which is going to add some volume and some additional saturation as we turn this on and off, which we'll demonstrate. Okay, this is not part of the original. And you can see down here, I'm just demoing it, and you can buy it if you'd like. So that's it. The other good thing about this plugin, which I really like, which is something new for Universal Audio, and the way they deal with their presets, if we open up our presets here, we can filter them here. So we can hit tags and we can filter them. So let's say this is going to be drums. We're going to listen to some drums for now. So we can click our drums and it gives you a bunch of presets for drums, which is kind of cool. If you were on your mix bus or if it was a parallel bus, it gives you some good starting points. So what I have here, let me just, I could probably resize this a little bit so it doesn't need to be so large. Okay. I have just a loop here, an easy drummer, groove here. We're going to start off with that. So let's listen to some drums here. Just the basic drum groove, just so we could hear it. I want to hear the transients and what's not. Then we'll listen to it on a mix. So here we go. Let's start with our, let's go to the drum bus here. Let's just go flip through a few plugins. So let's start with Dirty Drum Bus. Let's see what that does. So this would be kind of cool for like a parallel, like if you were running this separately as a parallel track along, blended in with some non-compressed drums or some lightly compressed drums. This is kind of cool. So we have our saturator section down here. Again, we can shape this. It's up, the preset puts it up pretty high. Let's play with that a bit. Gives a lot of saturation, a lot of color. Again, because it's a valve compressor, it's going to be very Fairchildish Stay Level-esque, and it does that. Here's Dirty Drum Bus. Let's just flip through a couple. Here's just a regular drum bus. Let's see what that sounds like. So a lot more conservative on this one, which is probably a little bit more appropriate for what we're doing today. I love what it does to the, in this particular setting. I messed around with the ratio a little bit here, and I'm just kissing the needle, which is, you know, again, on something like this, I probably wouldn't be overly compressing it unless I was going for the parallel thing, but listen to what it does to the kick drum. I like the way it fattens up that kick really nice. Really cool. Let's see what else they got for a few more. Let's do Drum Bus Sizzle. Let's see what that sounds like. That's kind of nice. Really cool. So there's some pretty cool, you know, presets are great starting points here. Let's do one more, and then we'll go to a full mix. Snare detail. Let's see what that does. That sounds really good. I like that. So I think if you start with the presets as where I would start, then you can tweak it from there. But yeah, it sounds like a valve compressor. You know, it sounds nice and fat and warm. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What does it sound like compared to the original? How would I know? I've never been to Capitol Records. But anyhow, all right. So that's on drums. That's just like basic drums. Now here's a mix that I have from an artist. There's a few mixes here. We'll listen to one here. Here's an artist called Laini The Wildfire. This is the song Dime. Did a few videos of theirs featuring their music over on the Mixing Music Analog YouTube channel, my second YouTube channel. This was mixed on my SSL with all my hardware. It's already got a ton of, you know, not a ton, but it's got compression, saturation, a lot of stuff on it. So throwing this on at the end, don't know how it's going to react to it because, you know, it's already a finished mix. It's not something that I used when I mixed the song, but it'll be, you know, something we could check out. Make sure you check out Laini and the Wildfire's music. Links will be in the description box below. Really good friends of mine. Awesome singer, awesome band. Love those guys. Check out Mixing Music Analog, the YouTube channel. Link will be in the description box below if you want to learn more about how I mix the song Dime by Laini and the Wildfire. Let's check this out and let's just see what we got going on here. Let's start with the preset here. Let's go to a mix bus. They have all kind of artist presets, all kinds of cool stuff here. Let's see, standard instrument bus, master. Okay. Capital starter. Yeah, all right. Let's see. I have no idea. Oh. No compression going on here. Why not? Oh, because let me put the.
I got needs. Gotta live, gotta love, got a soul to feed. You can pay me. I am more. Hey, this ain't some sentimental thing. You got the money, I got needs. Gotta live, gotta love, got a soul.
So I love what it does to, again, to the low end is where I really hear this a lot, is in the low end, which is nice. It's got a nice little bump to it.
To feed. You can pay me. I am already rich in dreams. So don't try to sell me on your scheme. I know a job's a job, not an identity.
Okay, so now as soon as we turn that on, we're going to have a massive, boost in volume. So we want to be careful and we want to gain match this a little bit.
Lie, lie, lie. Don't have to love your occupation. Work is what you make it. Lie, lie, lie. Getting paid is a transaction. Labor you can cash in. Oh, you are not defined by how you make your dime. How you make your dime. How you make your dime. Tens, 20s, hundreds, numbers calling out my name. It's part of life and that's the game. To balance time and love with a little something in the bank. I'm not ashamed. We all got bills to pay. So take your check, go on your way. Make the rest of every day worth the hours
That's a little too much cooking, little too much there, but it sounds cool.
that you gave. Making money ain't in vain. Don't have to love your occupation. Work is what you make it. Hey, this ain't some sentimental thing. You got the money, I got needs. Gotta live, gotta love, got a soul to feed.
Okay, so here's my initial reaction to this, because again, this is not an in-depth review where I've played with it for 3 months and I tell you what I think. I'm telling you what I think live on camera as I'm hearing it. Something like this on a final mix like this, again, this has already been mixed. If this was used prior to me finishing up the mix, it may be dialed in a little differently, but in used in a very subtle kind of a way, which is typically how you would use this, I would use a plugin such as this on the master bus like this and just kind of kiss the needle and just throw a little, it's like just taking a pinch of salt and throwing it into the soup. Sounds great. But you can overcook these things very, very quickly and it could become too much. So I would caution if you use this very sparingly, and my guess would be, even in the hardware form, you know, mastering bus compression typically on a final mix that's already been mixed professionally is going to be done kind of subtle. Whereas like when we listen to that drum bus, we could be a little bit more aggressive. We could get some great tones out of it. I think it sounds really cool. It throws a nice little vibe on the mix, especially in the low end. And if you do it sparingly, I think it could sound really cool. Is it, you know, the end all be all of valve compressor plugins? No, it's very Fairchild-ish, very stay level esque. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. But what's kind of cool about it, I guess, if you're looking for the cool factor, the saturation mode in here, the saturator, which is again not part of the hardware, is a universal audio add-on, is pretty cool. It's got some cool flexibility, and I would say that if you don't have a valve compressor or a Verimute styler or anything like this in your arsenal, this could be a cool one to look at, especially if you like universal audio stuff. I think it's really nice. It sounds really great. You know, if you already have a bunch of plugins like this in your collection, and you can compare one to the other and it's slightly different, but this sounds pretty good. Again, if you use it sparingly.
You can pay me. I
Cool. Let's check it on one more song type of music, then we'll get out of here. Okay, so this is a song called Fall to Freedom. It's by the band Jupiter Groove. Again, another mix that I did and I finished up on the console for them about a month or so ago. This is kind of the final mix that they signed off on. So again, we're tossing it on at the end, but this is more of a, this is a an instrumental rock track in the style of Joe Satriani. Okay, so let's go to a preset here. Let's go to like a standard, or like where was it? Like a mix bus, master, squishy. I have no idea. What's a saturate master bus? Okay, let's listen to this. I have no idea what it's going to sound like. Okay, we got to turn off this sidechain filter. It's set way too high. For me, it is anyway. Let's go back here. Yeah, see how much compression we have now? So just be aware of that sidechain filter. Yeah, it brings out a little bit more of the transient, a little more sizzle in the snare. Again, it fattens up that bottom end. Pretty cool. So again, this is a final mix that was already kind of done, throwing it on at the end. But again, I think it sounds pretty good. I think it's pretty universal, meaning you can use it on any different style of music. And again, I think if you use it in a sparing way, and if you start with the presets and kind of tweak it from there, I think you can find something that's really, really cool. So I think this is a good, cool plugin. It's really cool. Again, $400? No. Or whatever they wanted, $300, whatever that ridiculous number that they're looking for is, no. And I'm a Universal Audio fanboy. I mean, you guys know that. I think their plugins are way overpriced, way overpriced. At $175, if you have a Spark, I don't know if this is part of the Spark subscription, but if you're into the Spark subscription, and as they're porting some of their plugins over to that subscription, and you're paying your 15 or your 20 bucks a month, and you get this along with a bunch of other stuff, that's really cool. But I would not pay $300 for this. I wouldn't pay $300 for any plugin today. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I think it's absurdly overpriced. But at $175, honestly, I even think that's too much. If it was $100 and you didn't have a plugin like this in your collection, I would buy it. But anything over $100 I think is too much. But I do think it's a cool sounding plugin, and it is somewhat versatile, and you can use it on a lot of different things. So I hope you enjoyed this look and listen at the Universal Audio Capital Valve Mastering Compressor. Thanks so much for joining me. Now, like I said earlier at the beginning of the video, I want you to go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. So I want to give you that free mixing course. It's my gift to you. It's a mixing course, $100. Full mixing course. Take that course if you dig Uncle Dave's style of teaching and you want to take one of the other courses on my website. We have everything from recording to mixing to mastering, EQ, compression, parallel compression, hybrid mixing, analog style plugins, blah, 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 blah. I want to give you 25% discount coupon on any training course on my website. I have everything from absolute beginner all the way through advanced, even hardware and working with hardware in a console. that use the coupon code at checkout, YouTube25. That'll take 25% off any training course on my website. So until the next video, I've been Dave with homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Thank you so much for watching me today, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.